We can open it up.
Reading of the Open Public Meetings Act as required by NJSA 10.4-6, known as the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of this meeting was provided in the following manner on September 2024. Notice of this meeting specified the date, time, and location was transmitted to Star Ledger, El Casino, Americano, to the clerk of the city.
All right, so we, everyone's stand, pledge allegiance. Prayer.
Amen.
Commissioner Hopkins, will lead us in prayer.
Almighty God, we give you praise. We thank you for all the numerous favors and bounties which you showered us. We thank you for bringing us together here to discuss the affairs of our people. We ask that you would bless us with the abilities to deliberate and to bring good conclusions to the benefit of all of us. That's to bless this gathering, bless us all, and bless us. Thank you. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Commissioner Carter,
Present.
Commissioner Council,
Present.
Commissioner Washington,
Present.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Present.
Chairman Logan.
Present.
Public participation. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the House Authority of the City of Newark opens every public meeting for comments from the public. Each person choosing to speak at the meetings will be limited to 5 minutes to speak on any subject on or off the agenda. All speakers must state their name and address for the record. However, in accordance with NJSA 10.4-12, nothing in the act shall construe to limit the discretion of the public body to permit, prohibit, or regulate the active participation in any meeting. Therefore, please be advised that the House Authority of the City of Newark will not entertain any comments from persons who communicate obscene material, make statements which are considered bias, intimidation, in which a person is to intimidate any individual or group because of race, color, religion, gender, handicap, sexual orientation, or ethnicity, or make comments intending to harass or speak in any offensive language. If anyone makes these statements or relinquish their allotted 5 minutes for public discussion, any person who perceives out of turn or interrupts the peace and order of the meeting will be escorted off the premises. Our first speaker is Austin Singleton.
Good evening, Commissioners.
You're gonna say no seven.
I come before you to address some concerns. And I come in peace. I come, I'm always standing up for the voiceless and people who may feel that they want to intimidate. So we have one person here that critiques people's capabilities and what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to bring themselves. But that very person is not here, and I'm so upset that she's not here. We didn't have a meeting in July, so I could bring it in all, so I could bring it in July and have it all the time surgery. But nevertheless, I'm here. And I used to have meetings with Keith Kennard, who did that once a month. And I was here when this person came and slid a piece of paper across the table and told Keith Kennard what they wanted to make. He said no. She left out. 2 minutes later, his phone rang. His phone rang. She walked back to the door, and he said, "Okay." Well, this was dropped in my mailbox, my personal home mailbox. January 14, 2019. This is Dasha. Let me know if you have any questions, either position of the job. I am excited for you to join the team. We need more people of the at the NHA who loves Newark, supports and protects this administration are from Newark and competent and willing to work. Good morning. I will construct the job and description as we spoke about and create this title and have him review it, and I will work on this when I get him. The person says, I prayed so hard. This means a lot to me. When can I start? No need. I have much love and respect for your family and happy I can help. I'm excited for this work you will do. Yes, you could start on Monday and you could sign this offer tomorrow at your convenience. And the rest, you can see at your own convenience. This is going to happen. At the end of the day, I know for a fact that she didn't have an interview. She was brought here and sent here by Mary Baraka in the meeting with Keith Kennard, my right hand to God. Okay? This is not made up. This is something I know. She was not qualified for the position, but she had the audacity to critique other people being qualified for a position. You all know how I feel about Marquise Lewis and the way she badgered Marquise Lewis when he walked out of this building and shamed him for being incompetent. She is the one who started this problem in the Housing Authority by nepotism hiring. She's the one who started it. It didn't start, if you go back on the records, when she came in, none of the Baraka team was hired until then. Bernard Chase, Vincent Rouse, Marquise Lewis, Laquan. But then she said it was normal. It was normal. It was normal that actually caused the confusion with the hiring. Unbelievable. There's comments being made with the Barakas anymore. What is going on here? But she's still here. Commissioners, she's still here. We have to stop it. It's the betterment of the people. It's the betterment of the residents. I've always said this. I meant it. I will fight for the underdog. I will fight for the voiceless. And I'm not here to cut nobody's throat. I said it's peace. But right is right and wrong is wrong. When you go wrong and you want to mistreat people, Alphonse Willis, who was fired, 9 minutes after he left, his insurance was canceled. Man had surgery that week. Couldn't get the surgery to this day. What are we doing? What are we doing with the hiring practices? Now, Ms. Spicer didn't know that this was all in this text message. But he knows now just as well as you should. She's telling people she's being groomed to be the next ED. What? I'm tired. I'm tired of the degrading of people. I can go around degrading people. I speak truth and facts. If you don't believe me, call Keith on and ask him that I'm leaving him every month. And ask him. When she left out that room, Keith Kennard stretched over the table and said, I can't take it anymore. They're giving me an ulcer. This is stressful. He was fired because he couldn't do the job because they came in and wouldn't allow people to operate properly. Ask Victor about St. James parking lot that they wanted for $1. She put that on the table with Reverend Slaughter. And I'll leave behind and said, Felicia said, if St. James gets that for $1, I want my person for $1. And I still stand on that. I represent the people. I represent the work. I represent truth. I'm going to stand on truth. I'm not going to lie for, against, or on anyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Yes, probably.
Ms. Kim Barnes.
Good evening, Ms. Vaughn.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I would like to put on the record and encouraging and advocating for those who are public, Section 8 and draft residents. These are the following concerns. Can it be explained what is partial Section 8? Even though I know that there's no such thing. residents too. How are people who are owing back rent now eligible for Section 8? Section 8 are saying they are caught up, but the residents is still getting their recertification package. Being not being. These are getting their package on the mailbox the same day as due. The issue is that when a check was on the site, that was convenient for the residents. At time. Are the vouchers that have been approved by the board to 110% going to be across the board? When RAD properties converted over, why wasn't their files transferred? When landlords sell properties, whose responsibility is it to inform Section 8? Section 20, what is the process for the residents? Landlords requesting that residents move in a couple of months with the option of receiving money to move out. The residents need some transparency of what's being informed of what the agency's tracking plan. One thing I need to be clear is that public, Section 8, and RAD are under one umbrella. I can be wrong and correct. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vaughn. Annabelle?
Good evening. My site is smells coming to me. We have a lot of residents, including myself, we have three. We don't know what. So when COVID comes, they say it's a sub-county. So my question is what? Obviously, I don't think he's letting out know. But guess what? He comes to the site when we complain about the smell. For a gallon of bleach, each one, 2 and 839, 2 and 46. That still has the site needs to be properly cleaned, always off of garbage room, magnets in it. I wouldn't even go in there. And I got COPD, so I have no choice. The manager, respect is given. Now, yes, given now. If you talk to me, like you represent the person you're supposed to be, the title that you have, we can get along. If you come to me aggressive, I feel that though, I have to tell you, we're not having this conversation until you can talk to me in a professional way. They're rude, obnoxious, the super, control, the guards. Why is these people knowing our business? And why aren't they addressing us in common areas? It has to stop. Everybody business ain't everybody business. Sierra has office. Keisha English has office. Addressing us. I told my residents, they come to you, tell them to please talk to you in their office. People that know other people's business, these people that know ain't supposed to know. So there's a week in that system. Don't even start with security. Yes, they're on the phone. They're not looking at the camera. On guard. Sitting on the other side. With his phone plugged in. Sitting down. You got dates and times, you got to go back to it. This is unacceptable. And the other one from 46, he sit outside in a chair and be on his phone. So why are we paying these people, or you guys paying these people, to protect and serve, and we're not being protected or served? You know, they tell us? Oh, no. That's stop. Because somebody's gonna get hurt. Who's going to be liable? The money for security. And then somebody get hurt. You know what? You know no police will take 3 hours. You the third person in the cubicle, call them at 7, they showing up at 9. We y'all have to do better. It's like hire some temps, something. Y'all need to do a walkthrough without letting them know y'all coming, because when they know y'all coming, you know what they do? They do a spot clean. And ain't no way in the world any guy come up there and tell me, y'all can't tell. They just did it. It's not a normal process. The lobby floor is, they say they mop it with a stinking mop. So you know the smell like when it's dry. That's hard. Believe me.
Thank you. Myrna Brown.
Even everyone,
Stephen Brown.
that's my question at home. Go over what I have here. The first thing is that on August the 1st, 2024, resolution number 24-2507-10. That's the 110% increase for the voucher. And I have been constantly asking when y'all did increase before this, how did the increase work, behind the fact that the landlords, that somebody's going in again, they know the increase is there, the realtors know the increase is there. So I want this person out, because that's be there in voucher, which was $17.50, now $24.24 at that time. I need that $24.24. I'm missing money. So they want people out of those units, so they can get another voucher. The other thing I want to say about the voucher holders for the landlords, when you get a landlord that fails to repair somebody's house that's mold, holes in the ceiling, damages that the tenant didn't do, you give that person a voucher to go to another location, but the landlord don't fix the repairs. So that's a maintenance, so he don't get paid. But once he fixed that, I'm coming back to you to move you bad with his voucher. You should have a system where you can clinch that landlord. No. And it's not fair to us. It's hard to find something, and you gotta find something, then you got to put. Some people don't want to be, and it's not fair in them, they to the landlord that has their property up for. They do repairs, and they don't get the increase. I'd like to know why. Because if we're doing the increase, why is it not for all vouchers? So this resolution should be stated that this increase is only for if you're moving out of a unit, you will get the increase on the voucher. But then it's still not fair to the person. So whoever did this increase and how it goes, if it's her, if it's just the house rules, it's not fair to the people. It really is. The only thing is saying we have an umbrella. This is the umbrella. One of these breads break. It's no good. We're house authority. This is the house authority. This is all our programs that's going on. With one family, the umbrella don't function right. So we gotta get it together. We really need to get it together. I mean, I'm not trying to question, but that's right. I mean, not saying we're umbrella, we're under one umbrella. We need to work together. Commissioners has a job to do. You need to make sure we get right what we need to do. He has a job to do his staff. And if his staff not doing what needs to be done, he needs to do what he needs to do. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, there's too many people here that's been doing the same thing from Lucas to Newark to Toronto, and now because they tell them what they're doing. In front of these niggas, I don't know what the man doing. I'm not saying he ain't watching, but we watch very well. We see, we live this, we get treated like this. There's no way. I came to y'all before with a paid staff up and on your properties are treating people. It's not fair to them. It's not fair. Who in that department dictates to who has a disability? Are you a supervisor or a worker? That's not fair. Yes, I work for CGI. You know what, Rick? And most of y'all know. Some of those places, those people point out to me how they're treated. And I'm asking people, forget the job. You want to tell me she's not disabled? EMS has to come get her with the fire department from a third floor. She need a doctor. She need to be put in maybe one of the PVP. Okay? Y'all can do that. You can't keep looking for something. But it's not to me. Well, I'm just dying in this room. She had two options. Either they take, if she had to go to the hospital, or they try to get her downstairs. When they get to the first floor, she said, she not going. I can't. Yeah, I got to get people are human like you are. Just think about it, with your family member, your mother, your brother, your sister, get treated like that.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
I think it's Chief Pearson.
Yeah, good evening. Chief Pearson, Westport District 13 leader, and Georgia King Village resident and community advocate. HUD announced more than $6 million to revitalize communities with distressed HUD-assisted housing. Choice neighborhood plumbing grants will kickstart community-driven transformation plans that will benefit residents and local economies. Mayor Ras Baraka issued a statement recently, I quote, New Jersey housing market is 200,000 available units short at least. And this is a statewide issue that is driving up the cost for everyone living in our state, not only the suburbs of the community, but across the board. Our children can afford to live in communities where they grew up, much less raise their own families in the Garden State. We've known this problem 40 years. Every day we delay action is the day we hurt working families already struggling to keep up with New Jersey's cost of living. I'm here today to support and to advocate replacing the infrastructure of aging, low-income housing complexes in the city of Newark. Tearing down low-income housing is not the antidote in addressing the problem. What that does, it creates more homelessness and a different type of homelessness. We're talking about crucially low-income families who cannot afford, who can only afford low-income housing. They can't afford affordable housing. Replacing the infrastructure of aging, low-income housing is crucial for various reasons that impact the wellness of residents, the community. It reduces homelessness and the overall housing landscape. Here are some key reasons why replacing the aging infrastructure on low-income housing is important. Number one, safety and health. Aging low-income housing suffers deterioration of the infrastructure, such as outdated plumbing, electrical system, structural issues. Replacing this infrastructure is vital to ensuring the safety and health of residents. Upgrading the system can prevent hazards like mold, lead, asbestos exposure, which can have serious health consequences, especially for vulnerable populations living in low-income housing. Two, the quality of life. Replacing the infrastructure of aging, low-income housing can significantly enhance the quality of life of residents. Upgrading facilities as efficient heating and cooling systems, proper functioning elevators, as well as maintaining common areas can create more affordable and livable environment for tenants. This can lead to a better mental and physical well-being, increased satisfaction with their living conditions, and a sense of dignity and pride in their home. Three, energy efficiency and sustainability. Replacing the infrastructure of aging and low-income housing presents an opportunity to incorporate energy efficient and sustainable features. Upgrading insulation, windows, and appliances can reduce energy costs for residents, making housing more affordable in the long run. Adding, implementing, renewing energy sources, water saving fixtures, and green building practices contribute to environmental sustainability and reduce the carbon footprint of these projects. Preservation of affordable housing stock. Aging, low-income housing are often at risk of deterioration or demolition due to the neglect of lack of resources for maintenance. By replacing the infrastructure of these properties, we can extend their useful life and preserve affordable housing stock. This is crucial in addressing the shortage of housing available options, especially high-cost urban areas for gentrification and displacement of common practice. Common revitalization, restoring the infrastructure of aging income housing can contribute to revitalization of neighborhood community. Well-maintained and attractive housing complexes can improve the overall aesthetic appeal of an area, boosting property value and assessing investment in the surrounding community. This can lead to increased economic opportunities and improve these services. In conclusion, replacing the infrastructure of aging housing is crucial to ensure the safety and well-being, preservation, housing stock, and promote sustainability, contributes to community revitalization, and reduce.
Thank you, Ms. Church. Thank you.
Jimmy LaPierre.
Jamila Farrell. No answer.
Don Jackson.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Been a couple of months. Things are changing. Some for the better, some for the worse. Several questions. We in the financial pickle, why are we still paying the Bruce Group law firm? Why? We now have rental assistance, and dependents are supposed to be able to apply for rental assistance. I just need us to bring all the managers up to speed so that they know this is happening. Because your managers at all are telling tenants, I don't know what you're talking about. That is unacceptable. But why are we still taking tenants to landlord tenant court? Why are we still paying Bruce Bruton, whose license plate fees evictor, taking tenants from North Housing Authority to court? And he's been doing it for years. But if we in the fiscal pickle, that contract can be changed. If you have principal assistance, there's no need to take anybody. Under HUD regulations, there was a repayment order put out in 2022. We didn't follow any of that. Not one complex, not one manager gave any tenant the opportunity to repay what they possibly owed through a payment plan. Didn't happen. People were being charged rent that they didn't know. Bruce Bruton is bringing people to court today, week, month, with income statements from 2023 and charging people for 2021 and 2022. I don't understand what direction we go when we're still harassing. Again, I came before this mic, I stopped coming because maybe things change. I give you a chance, Mr. Spicer, for the plan to go in. And when you keep some of the people who kept the nonsense going, this is why it's not getting big. Managers are still doing people's recertification and not giving tenants a copy of anything. They will not give them their rent calculation sheet because I can add to it. So I need to see what you add in my rent and what you deduct. Your managers, not all, but most, are not giving tenants that. They're not even giving them a copy of the private page that they signed, let alone a portion of the lease so that they can have it. So when folks do go to apply for rental assistance and outside agencies, they have nothing to bring with them. Because I've helped some people. And again, I go back to the man, I'm not giving you that, you're not entitled to that. Any document people are signing, they're entitled to a copy. They're supposed to have a copy of their rent calculation page. I need to make sure that when you're calculating my rent, that you have my public service payment, my life insurance payment, my car insurance payment, my daycare payment, my after school payment, all that needs to be on it. Because there's still people paying $9,000, $1,000, $1,200 rent that don't make $30,000 a year. So I know these calculations are being done incorrectly because when the person leaves, that county, specifically Newark, and goes to another county, another agency, their rate is significantly cheaper. And I'm talking hundreds of dollars. I'm seeing people go from $1,200 to $500 just for moving from Newark to Elizabeth. There's no way. Same income, same kids, same food stamp payment, all of that. So somebody's doing something that's not supposed to be done. The public hearing is on the master plan. I don't know how we expect tenants who can't get basic services to come in a comment period for something that has not been brought up. There should have been a specific hearing at Bradford Court, for example. Those tenants there have every right to voice what their opinion is, what they think should happen in their complex, while we should not lose those 400, I mean, we all want another, but we should not lose those 400 units, cannot afford to. Under Hurricane Katrina, when those flood waters came in, the projects was good. When the people open them doors, they dishes was in the cabinet, water had going in there. So we have sound structure. We just need to figure out how we're going to do that. And a lot of people don't want to come in and do low income housing. But we need to find a partner, Mr. Spicer. You know, I'll put all suit time up. That wants to come in and help do a radical. Little bricks are sitting there while families are bleeding out. We still haven't got the woman just evicted by, you know, someone who you chose to keep. She has a 10-year-old daughter in a wheelchair. She's now at Harmony House. She's never come to court. Illegally evicted, and these things are still happening. Mold and health issues on the ozone, I'm gonna get off this mic because I know that's me. We are killing people that live in our public because we are not looking at health and safety. I don't know if we still have the environmental firm hired. I don't know if we're still using them. But if we are, we really need to go out and see what's going on and relocate some people so we fix that.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
You're welcome.
Cheryl Morgan. Ms. Morgan. Cheryl Morgan. No answer. Jacqueline Peoples. Jacqueline Peoples. No answer. Joanne Sims. Joanne Sims is present.
Slow. Good evening, I'm Joanne Sims, resident of Wild Living Garden, Drag Property. I have some questions. 6. Make it 7. Pertaining to the Rad properties. Are the Rad properties receiving a new management company? Who will be the new management company? And what does this mean for the residents and staff currently at or on the Living Gardens? What is happening with the vouchers that were scheduled to be distributed to the RAD residents after a 1-year conversion? When will the critical repairs resume from the scope of work the investors deemed as critical? Half the property was given cabinets, windows, and floors. When can we expect the remaining of units to be completed? Is one owner of Living Garden taking Section 8 vouchers now? When is the city going to take responsibility for the garbage not being picked up on scheduled days? Rats are running crazy. What is the city doing about all the out pole lights with PSE&G company When is the sanitation going to clean out the sewer drains? They are heavily clogged with garbage and debris, which allows flooding in my areas. Those are my questions. I hope somebody answers them, or I would like to get them back in writing. Thank you. Have a nice night.
Thank you. Venus Walker. Present.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm just gonna read a brief summary. I came here today in the matter of NHA not complying with my agreement here. I have yet to solve any of my issues concerning my safety, my maintenance issues, and management interference, regarding altering my paperwork, which is currently causing me to suffer. It has been 2 years that I have been going through this conflict with NHA when it comes to my apartment, my windows, my refrigerator, etc., amongst other issues with maintenance. It has now become winter time, and I cannot go through another winter with no window properly working or any of my maintenance issues not being solved. I explained to NHA and the occupancy department that I feel unsafe when it comes down to maintenance and management because of what they have done to me and my paperwork. And I would like for them to fix these issues that I may feel so unsafe in my environment. I would also like to bring before the board 2 investigations that were supposed to be conducted due to the interference of NHA management altering my paperwork. Their interference has caused me severe suffering when it comes down to maintenance and other issues I have with NHA. I'm currently suffering. I also stated that no one has gotten in contact with me about these investigations that are supposed to be going on. And I would like to know what action will be taken involving maintenance and my safety issues. The paperwork dealing with maintenance and management, I have given to the occupancy department. I have given to the commissioners multiple times, and I have given to HUD as well, recently. So I've spoken to many of you guys. I let HUD know that as well. And no one has gotten in contact with me about my grievance here. So it should be noted that every email, statement, every paperwork, every recording that I ever had, continue to have. And moving forward, what I'm asking about and speaking about to everyone, because when I see you guys' faces, I see some faces they barely look at me, barely see my concern. I get it, but I'm a person who I need progress. By law, their interference in crossing out my safety and writing things and saying which is untrue, that the maintenance issues that I was having, and the way they come in and they say things that's inappropriate to women, and they have this, this lingering things that they've been drinking. It's a hot mess. So when they interfered on my paperwork, which I had evidence of, and I gave it to her as well, they made a dramatic, it hurt me bad because then I was not able to get the services I needed. Because basically they said that what I said wasn't true, so you're telling me that I'm a lie. I don't appreciate that. So I came to multiple board meetings, right? And it just seems like no one is getting contact with me about investigations. I spoke to a woman, I'm sure her name, I gotta look at my file, Deborah, she called me, and I spoke to her, and it was commissioner lady, I don't know her name, I gotta check my files. And she told me she was gonna do an investigation. Natalie, the regional leader, is supposed to do an investigation. No one is contacting me. It seems like everyone wants to ignore me or shun me. So what I did after speaking with her, I'm going to move it forward by 2025. I'm going to create an association. It's going to be called a Tenant Voice Association because I feel my voice is not being heard. After doing my research, I think that I can do that. I also see that there's going to be policies and things I have to do to have come out in 2025. But if no one contacts me and think that it's okay that I move another winter route these services, and I see why you don't want to contact me because just like I spoke to the lady on the phone, she said they don't want to touch on why they interfere in my paperwork. NHA has to, you guys take care of it. If they don't, I'm going to go further. I'm going to go to the mayor's office. I'm going to continue to create my association. And what we do nowadays is we broadcast everything. And this needs to be broadcast. I don't know if you guys are broadcasting it. And so I don't know if you guys are broadcasting it for the people to know. But I won't accept it. Can I get it? I understand you guys feel like maybe, went slow and whatever reasons you guys had. But respectfully, that's not what should be your policy. So, once again, if I do these things, I have no problem working with JJ or me. I have been the only one working. Everyone has been showing me. But until we figure out why they didn't secure my paperwork without my permission, which I crossed out safety, wrote lies with my name on it, I will not work with them. I will not let them use my home to conduct more lies upon me, to not solve anything. We have broken windows, we have mold. And as a contract I used to be, I know that there's work for improvement. These are properties that's been built before I was born. So, that being said, I'm going to leave you guys with this. And I'm going to, you guys with it.
Thank you, Ms. Walker.
You're welcome. Everyone have a good night. Ms. Walker? Yes. Thank you.
Good evening, just attempt to try to answer as many questions as I can, as I've done the last couple of months, answer as many questions as we can and follow. With these in writing, which you have a hard copy of, specifically a hard copy. If you understand as long as it just comes in, they should be mailed out, day before as well, so there's many ways that you can do this. Just going down to various items, the RAD properties that are not receiving a new management company. That's the second question, will be the management company. But it's, that, so it doesn't mean anything for residents to plan on living, because answer number one. So sometimes I think we have a breakdown and understanding of how our programs work. And the bread and butter of our, what we do here is property management. Oftentimes I'm asked questions of why don't we have job training programs? And my direct answer is that's not our mission. I'm a landlord. They ask, why don't I have educational programs? I say, because I'm not the school district. So we get asked quite often, why don't we do things that are not property management? But the reality is, we are a property management. We are not a social service. We're not a social service agency. We are the bread and butter of property management, which is funded by the federal government. Right. So we can always give a very high level educational form on what is public housing, how does it work, things of that nature. But first, we have to make sure the rent is clean. Gotta make sure work orders are good. Gotta make sure payroll is done on time. We have to make sure that any infestation is taken care of. So there's so many things within our wheelhouse, the things that we get paid to do, that before we get to the auxiliary things that we need to handle, which you are paid to do on a regular basis. And I wish we had more time to do some of those fun things, to really engage on other avenues, but the things that we get paid for on a daily basis have to be done before we can get to those things. So oftentimes we refer people to websites. They have to read on their own to understand our programs, so we can then have conversations. So there are no RAD vouchers. There's a thing called choice mobility, which says once a person has lived in a property that has transitioned to project-based vouchers using the RAD platform, that you have an option to receive a housing choice voucher, which is a tenant-based voucher, to leave. We have communicated publicly that was not effectuated in the original tenant selection plan and the original documents when the properties transitioned to the RAD Section 8 plan. We also went back to the board a couple months ago and made sure that was in the administrative plan. You all approved that. It takes effect October 1. So anyone who lives at a RAD, they are able to reach out to the HCD department and go through the process by which to obtain a tenant voucher, which would allow them to, there's a process. So there are no RAD vouchers that are any particular RAD product. There are tenant choice mobility, there are tenant mobility vouchers that are available for individuals that live in right? The critical repairs, most of the critical repairs have been completed. It's really going to depend on what property you're speaking of, but some of those have already been completed. The property was getting cabinets from those stores. I would have to go back through the documents to see if we only determined that we was needed or they but we'll look into that to make sure we give a comprehensive answer to that. There's Winona Gardens taking Section 8 vouchers now. They never have taken Section 8 vouchers because it is a project-based Section 8 property, so there's no voucher to be taken. The voucher remains with the unit, it doesn't come with the person. So it's kind of hard to answer the question because that's not how the program works. Again, we are not part of the city. So I can't answer the question when the city is going to take responsibility for anything or what the city is going to do. I'm not a representative of the city. I can't speak on behalf of what the city is going to do. There are forms by which residents of Newark can ask their elected officials and individuals in those departments of when they're going to do the things that the city is required to do. But I can't speak to what the city is going to do on those things. I would encourage individuals to direct those questions to the appropriate bodies and get answers there. I can't, equally so, I can't answer what happened in 2019. I wasn't here in 2019. It's kind of hard to go back to try to understand what did happen then. What I can do is attest to what has happened and what we are doing going forward. And that's all I can be held accountable for, and that's all I hold individuals accountable for, because if we try to relitigate everything, then we're never moving the ball forward on what's happening now. And at the end of the day, we're never going to be able to appease everything. We have to work in a manner that's the most efficient, most effective to serve the most people that we can. And for me, it's that simple. We have a public housing program, we have a housing choice voucher program. Those are the two programs that we run. Within that housing choice voucher program, you have project-based vouchers, you have tenant-based vouchers. That's it. Those are the only two programs that this housing authority runs. Period. I have no problem instructing our property managers and our asset managers have done walkthroughs for our properties, but we can always continue to do those on a more frequent basis. As it indicated in the administrative plan, the increase in the FMR takes place is effective 10/1, which is 7 days. Again, when you change the FMRs and fair market rates for your program, it affects everyone in your program. Whether you are living in a unit, you're looking for a unit, wherever the case, it takes effect for every single person that's in the program. It's a change to the program. We don't, as in the Newark Housing Authority, have not been allocated or given any money for infrastructure upgrades. So we don't have to spend. We can't. But realistically, looking at some of our older complexes, and infrastructure upgrade will not change the square footage in a unit at residential. It won't allow us to put AC in units. It won't allow us to put dishwashers in units at high. It won't allow us to put laundry in your unit at ground. These are just functional things that you can't change with infrastructure. The buildings were built more than 8 years ago. Life has changed significantly since then. Not many of us still use the laundry poles to hang our laundry up in the backyard. Life has changed. How we do things changed. Code, building codes have changed. Square footage requirements have changed. So some things you can't change with infrastructure. You just have to knock the building down and build a new one. At some point in time, that part that you have that's paid off, that's 1970, 1980, it's just not going to be able to do what the new cars do. It's not that simple. It's that simple. That HVAC It's not gonna work the same way the satellite radio works. They just didn't have those back then. Which you may call hydraulics, we call that suspension. It's just different than what it was 40 years ago. So we have to adjust. I understand that change isn't comfortable. I understand that we all get used to something and we like the way it is because it's comfortable for us. And when that starts to move, it can be very difficult to absorb. It can be very difficult to understand because we say, well, it's working. So why do that change? But the reality is it may have worked for you. It may have worked for your development. But there are 19 amps that consist of more than 6,000 units. And just because it worked for you does not mean it worked for the other 5,900 units that we have. Does not mean it worked for the other 13,000 people in public housing that we serve. Again, our mission is to serve the most people that we can. And we have to come up with policies and procedures that serve the greater good. And I'm understanding that we'll never be perfect. We're going to serve the needs of every single person. The housing authority has not moved for eviction in the last 60 days for anyone that's not for cause. What that means is if you haven't paid your rent, you haven't filed for it in the last 60 days. If you had a dog, if you were breaking something, if you vandalized, if you have any lease violations, we have moved to term. That's what we call calls. So we contact our attorneys and they go to court. That's what we have done in the last 60 days. If you pay your rent on time, you probably won't feel like you're being harassed. If you pay your rent, you probably won't feel like you're being harassed. But keep in mind that your rent is based on your income. So at any point in time, if you experience a hardship, if your job changes, if your income changes, your rent will change. And that is done retroactively. Therefore, you do our best to mitigate the hardship because your rent is based on your income. The public comment period for the annual plan closes on October 10th. We held 2 public comment sessions in this building, one at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and the following was at 6 p.m., which was the first time they had done it in a number of years, intentionally so we could capture individuals that may work in the evening, have an opportunity to come in the day. Maybe you have children you have to tend to, you have other obligations in the evening, so you have an opportunity to come to in the afternoon. We did our statutory requirements and obligations to hear from the public, and they still have the opportunity to weigh in until October 10th. That can be through the note card or piece of paper that's attached to the annual plan that's on the same site, or it can be here at 500 Broad Street where they can again drop it into the box or provide it to anyone at the front desk here, which was also in the document that we sent to the papers, which is in the document that we sent to the clerk of the city of Newark, which is the same way the house has done things for the last 25 years. Some things don't change. We just need to slow down, read it, let it marinate. Maybe if you got a question, call somebody. But 9 times out of 10, it's not as bad as it needs to be. I remind people, and I understand, we all do it, especially if you haven't worked in this industry, there's a difference between mold and mildew. So it's not uncommon for places that have moisture content in the air for mildew to build up. It's not uncommon for mildew to build up in bathrooms. There's small spaces, typically they aren't very well ventilated, so you start to see things, and it's mildew. Mold is something different. Mold has spores count per million, which determines if it's an unhealthy or an unhealthy level of mold in the air. Everything around us typically has some kind of mold or mildew in the air. The question is it at an unhealthy level? So there's that thing that has to be done to determine if something is mold or mildew. If it is mold, what is the spore count to determine if it's unhealthy level? This is the difference in how things have to be done to die. Housing authority gives answers to individuals that ask questions. They're not always the answers they would like. They're not always the answers to the questions that they then ask you to follow up, because it's not going to change the answer that I give. So in the very beginning of this, I started to answer questions 1, 2, and 3 which was, are the RAD properties receiving a new management company? Based on that answer, question number 2 and 3 is moot, because questions 2 and 3 are about the management company, who the management company's going to be. Well, if there's new management, there's no new management company. I mean, yes, 2 and 3, because there's no name to provide you. So we get into those situations quite often, and then people walk away feeling that they are walking a little empty. At the end of the day, I try to remind people all the time that A, you're a lease, not a deed. So there is no saying we can't enter your unit. We will enter your unit because it's not yours, it belongs to your house. And in your lease, it clearly states that we can enter your unit. And if you change the locks, I have the right to knock the lock off of your door, enter the unit, do what I have to do, lock the unit back up, and then notify you that we have changed your lock. Come to the office to get a key. It's in your lease. It is legal because it doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the Newark house. Every landlord in the country has the right to enter their property. Sure. If it's an emergency, I don't have to give you notice. If it's not an emergency, I have to give you 24 hours. That's what the law states. Legal aid is available to anyone. You don't have to pay money to go to legal aid. I always tell people, if you don't believe Leonard, go to legal aid. I'm not an attorney. And they will advise you properly. There are many other places that individuals can choose to reside if they no longer feel that what we offer fits their need. Again, this is not a prison. This is not a jail sentence. This is not the military. You are not concerned. Anyone at any point in time can terminate the lease. That's why our leases are month to month. When you leave, you do not say, hey, what's month 13? That we get 11 months. We say, thank you. Please clean the unit. So no one is being held here because they don't want to. You choose to. And if it doesn't work for you, I completely understand. If there are things that we have to change to make it work for the community, we will definitely do that. And we're working to do that, which is why we did do an annual plan on time, which is why we did sit down with the RAP, the TAP, to tell them what the annual plan is to go through those things, which is why we went to City Hall and City Council to ensure that everyone knows, so they don't have to call the commissioners, they don't have to call their city councilman, because they were given the documents, which is why it's on our website. We do what we can to provide everyone with as much information as possible. I understand some people don't like that information. I understand some people may not like the way it is constructed. But we're here to run a business. And in every industry, you use terms that are specific to that industry. If you're in banking, you use banking terms. If you're in childcare, you use terms that are specific to childcare. If you're in education, you use terms that are specific to education. We're in property management, we use terms that are specific to property management. No one is trying to throw a clip link over anyone. We're not trying to blindside anyone. It's just the nature of our business. And we're having monthly engagements with our resident advisory board, which is open to the public, for anyone to come in and ask any questions that they would like. As we did last night, and after 30, 45 minutes going into items on the agenda, we stayed for another hour and answered every question that every person had until we all walked out together. So there is always time to interface with me directly, a regional, or with a deputy, because we're always available at these public comments, because I'm always there. So there's always an opportunity to interface if you have questions. And as I say, every time I go to any public meeting, I will give you whatever, I will answer whatever question you ask. I ask you to be cognizant of the question you ask, because I'm going to answer. And you may or may not like the answer I give, but it's not going to change, because the truth is the truth. And that's all I can do.
Are we entitled to a copy of the time?
Mr. Chair, just two quick follow-up questions. One of the speakers asked a question about ensuring that the managers get the information and training around the rental assistance. So if we can make sure that the managers and they're passing by, receive the information, know what they're supposed to be, letting these individuals know about training out. I'm not sure about that, but if you can speak to it, especially around the rental assistance, since we're allowing that. And then there was a couple of other speakers, I believe Ms. Curtin and Ms. Jackson alluded to it a little, which I do believe is important. And I just think the branch and the way that they focus it should be outlaid because it is our responsibility as it tends to making sure that we are focused on building low and moderate income housing. Right? I think that was the branch that they were trying to wrap it around outside of whatever those dollars could do to that in the framework of what she was putting, but in the framework of what our responsibility is in terms of building newer, lower, moderate income housing, right? That now affords us the opportunity to put some of these life-changing amenities in place, right? That we don't lose focus on that. And I know a lot of times people, they love to come down the street and yell about, housing and what's affordable and what people are not doing. And doesn't understand that there is an entity, an organization in the city that is 1,000% responsible for building low and moderate income housing. And that entity is called the Newark Housing Authority. And so we have to, make sure that we are doing our due diligence to stay on track.
Yes, sir. I don't completely agree. It was a point that came up in our earlier meeting today, that we do believe that there has not been a robust rollout of rental assistance. So we are going to come up with different ways that we can ensure that the applications are given to the general population, whether it be through our website, through social media, through the sites, through the TAs. As I mentioned, there was a conversation that happened earlier today to effectuate how we can figure out to get that to the population sooner than later, to ensure that no one is getting in the way of any individual getting into that. Anytime you sign anything, anytime you sign any business document, you should always walk away with a copy of the business document that you have signed. If you do not walk away with that, you have a problem. It's kind of like when you go to this fast food place and says that you do not get a receipt, please call this number. It's the same concept. When you open a bank account, when you do lease certifications, when you do initials, when you sign a lease, when you get a car, you should always get copies of the document. Big deal, and you should really talk to them now. That sounds kind of sketchy to me. But yes, the Housing Authority has established a community development corporation that we fully intend to use for the purpose of developing low affordable housing in the city of Newark, as well as looking at repositioning our assets to help someone to create more housing to address the lack of affordable housing. Of course, our target population is always 0 to 30% AMI. We want to serve as many people as possible.
Chair?
Yes, Commissioner.
Yes, I have a comment to make. This is Commissioner Washington. So I asked at the workshop about the vacant unit contractors, Black and option 1. I have the email here that states that option 1 has hired 8 Newark residents. Black has hired 12. That's great. But my concern is the Newark housing residents. The Newark housing residents. I see the option 1 has hired 1 now, and Black has hired none. Now, I do understand that they did hire Newarkers, that's great, but okay, what about us? And also for the lawn company, and I know that they're not permanent, but Great Star, okay, residents. Okay, Great Star has had 8 residents, it says. I'm not sure what that means. Option one has had 11 residents for the lawn service. Now, it says how many residents work for the lawn service. That's kind of, I'm not sure if they're giving 8 and 11 as Norkers, because also what I see is A&M Landscape has 6, Exclusive has 9, and this says, and 1 Newark housing resident. So Exclusive gave us their 9, that I think the 9 is Newarkers, and then they said 1 NHA resident. Exactly, what is Waystar saying 8, not 1 saying 11. I didn't know that the option 1 had a lawn service. I need for, option 1 and for that to go back and readdress the North housing residents as they said they would. I yield.
Okay, so noted.
We got it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We good, Commissioners?
Yes.
Okay, proceed with the agenda.
Items for approval, the July 2024 board report, seeking a motion to move. Question.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, how many vacancies do we have currently?
Seven, 776.
No.
Yes, public housing.
Yeah, I see that. I'm good, Mr. Chair, thank you.
Items for approval.
Board report, there,
Move it.
second,
Second.
Commissioner Carter. I'm sorry, say again. Commissioner Council,
Yes.
Commissioner Washington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hawk. Chairman Logan.
Yes.
The July 2024 board transcript, we have affirmative yes.
Move it.
Second. Commissioner Carter. Commissioner Council,
Yes.
Commissioner Washington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hawk,
Yes.
Chairman Logan.
Yes.
Item 1 to new business. HCV 24-25-09-01, resolution of the Newark Housing Authority Board of Commissioners authorize the executive director to extend the project-based voucher housing assistance payments contract for Shalom Towers. In accordance with federal regulations at 24 CFR 983.205 and HUD notice PIH 2017-21 to continue providing affordable housing for low income families.
Move it.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I had requested some information from the folks from Shalom Towers. They forwarded the information. I just want to, let you know that I did get an opportunity to look at it. But also, as we move forward, I would like us to send them information that once this is completed, that they will follow up with us to ensure that whatever work that will be done at the facility to upgrade some of the sites, that we are made aware of it, since they put it in the document that getting this, extension on these HAP contracts will allow them to do some, interior work in some of the apartments, that we are, kept abreast of what that work is, when it starts. And, hopefully, that our folks that are here can be able to, go and monitor or witness that work being done with the allotment of people that we have in that facility.
And thank you for the quick response we did. Every commissioner did get a response in writing for the work that you requested. And we want to thank you for that. So, on that, anybody else have anything? With that being said, make a motion to move it.
Motion to fix that HVAC system. Sure.
Second, Carter.
Roll call, Commissioner Carter,
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson,
Yes.
Commissioner Washington,
Abstain.
Commissioner Thompson, I'm sorry, Commissioner Hawk. Yes. Chairman Logan.
Yeah.
Motion is adopted. There are no other items on the agenda today. It's all discussed.
We'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Commissioner Carter. Commissioner Thompson,
Yes.
Commissioner Washington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hawk. Yes. Chairman Logan.
Yes.
6:20.
6:20. Thank you.
About 3 minutes.
Meeting adjourned. Adjourned.
All right.
My regular show.
Yeah.